Blog Talk Radio.
Following ingredients include a look behind the scenes. Cook uncovered until hot. Add grooves to taste.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
The accident was over a year ago. A second woman has been elected president. The 12th planet has been named in the solar system. The last wild polar bear has died. I slept through it all. I was here for my waking. He called it a beginning. He said it was good. I think he may have thought that anything I did was good.
Welcome to Transition Radio, live from Wilton Manors, Florida, with your host, Mark Angelo Cummings.
And your hostess, Jessica Lynn Cummings.
Show for trans folks, by trans folks, here to let your voice be heard.
Well, hello and welcome to Transition Radio. So glad you guys are able to join us on Trans Tuesday. Tonight we have an amazing guest. Her name is Jeri Estes. She's an author, and she was born and raised in Southern California. Popular novel, Stilettos and Steel, is based on her adventure as a teenage runaway in the Tenderloin district of San Francisco during the 60s.
But before we bring her on, we want to thank our sponsors, thebreastwarmstore.com. They have everything you could possibly need for your transgender and cross-dressing needs. Visit their website and tell them Transition Radio sent you. After surviving 4 years in a TL, Jeri returned to her roots in the San Fernando Valley, becoming clean and sober and going back to school. She acquired a degree in nursing and then entered the nonprofit sector as an activist for women's health issues. Jeri was hired as Public Relations Director at the Alcoholism Center for Women in Los Angeles, the first federally funded treatment program that accepted lesbian patients. Prior to this, there were no recovery houses or hospital beds available for lesbians.
Jeri's outreach campaign to health facilities and governmental bodies encourage funding and acceptance of lesbian patients in treatment centers across California. As a result, Jeri was appointed as the Assistant Director of the California Women's Commission on Alcoholism, educating the public about alcoholism amongst women on national television and radio shows, while developing a statewide volunteer base to further this effort.
Privately, Jeri has spoken nationwide before thousands, carrying her own transformational message of recovery, filled with humor, courage, and hope. Jeri is currently a writer, dividing her time between San Francisco and Los Angeles. Based in Studio City, she is currently working on her second novel. Now, please welcome to our show, the talented Jeri Estes.
Why don't you turn that off and join the party?
Well, welcome. Join us.
Yes, welcome.
Hi. Who am I speaking with? It's Jeri Estes.
Jeri, this is Mark and Jessica from Transition Radio. So glad you were able to join us tonight. Actually, it's not nighttime where you're at.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you, too. I think we need to turn our radio down because I can't quite hear you there. How are you?
Okay,
this is Jeri.
Okay, Jeri. So glad you're able to join us. It's from the clock where you're at, right? 3:30.
Yeah, everything's right. We're at 3:30, just like we're supposed to be. How are you? It's very beautiful today, in fact. Nice sunny day. You're back east, New York, is it?
No, we are actually in Florida. Wilton Manors, Florida.
Oh, in Florida. Oh, that's nice. That's beautiful. I have a lot of friends and, in fact, readers out there, so it's a nice area. I liked your intro. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
And very impressed with your website. Huh?
Thank you for being with us.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice. The book's doing very well, and we're happy that we've just recently submitted the screenplay, too, so we're kind of on a roll, and it's kind of fun to see a book, with all these different characters, predominantly gay, and nowadays they would say transgender, making it mainstream. It's kind of shocking. So that's kind of fun.
Well,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I mean, well, anyhow, I didn't know if you had a chance to read it, the book, or whatever, but it's amazing for me. It's so much fun. Things are changed. I'm so old. I lived in the San Fernando Valley, and California was nice. So I've seen a lot of changes, through the years, and it's so fabulous to have radio shows and everything so open today. It's amazing. I used to get arrested just for walking down the street, so it's quite a difference.
And times have changed. Yes. You've had an amazing journey, and I want you to tell us a little bit more about life in San Francisco as a teenage runaway, about your book.
Well, yeah, it's amazing. It's really hard for people to grasp. I just finished the screenplay. I'm doing the screenplay with Bayard Story. He's the assistant, he's a head analyst for Sony Pictures, right? He's a charming, fantastic guy. We're good friends, and he keeps asking me, well, what happened so awful that you had to run away, right? And I laugh, and I keep sharing with him. I said, nothing. I had to run away because I didn't even know there was another gay person on the planet, Nowadays, you think if someone runs away, right, they have abusive parents. I had to run away because I'm this raging tomboy dressed like Doris Day's daughter, having to act like Gidget and go out with the Taft High School quarterback, and I just couldn't take it any longer. And I was very fortunate to have run into two black drag queens at an after-hour club, a dance club, and ended up hitchhiking to San Francisco. I ran away to the first gay ghetto in San Francisco called the Tenderloin. So that's how my little journey started. I was 16 years of age and a perfectly nice young lady from the valley. It was very funny. I looked like an old movie. I don't know if you ever saw a movie called Gidget. It's like a little blonde hair and a surfboard and real clean-cut girl. That's how I ended
Gidget.
up. Did you love Gidget? I loved Gidget.
Yeah.
I ran away from home looking like Gidget, trust me. I mean, I had the surfboard, the pink bikini, but the only problem is that my inner child was named Al Capone. I mean, I was having a little conflict, so I couldn't wait to get the hell out of that clothes and be myself, I ran away from home just simply to find other gay, and that's the hard part for people to grasp. I had very loving parents. They did not know what the hell to do with me. I wanted a Tommy gun at Christmas, and everybody else wanted a tiny Tears doll,
Exactly. Well, we got a couple callers on the line, so let's go ahead and take one of the callers, see what they have questions for you.
All right, yeah, I'm glad to take the calls. I'm so thrilled that I have, an international reader base, which shocks me. I have fans from Belgium, Paris, Australia, and it's so wonderful because they're middle-class heterosexuals falling in love with all these baby dykes and these butches and femmes and queers. I mean, it's quite interesting.
Well, we have caller number one. Can you please tell us your name and where you're calling from, and do you have a question?
Okay.
Hello, caller?
Yes.
You're
Hello?
on the air. Yes.
Yes, who's caller number one?
That's what we're trying to find out. Hold on a second, Jeri. Caller, can you give us your name and where you're calling from?
I'm in line, but I don't know if I'm caller number one. Can you hear me?
Yes,
I can recognize the voice.
Jeri.
Hi, it's Maureen.
I am calling from Los Angeles, from Venice, California.
That's awesome. Do you have a question for Jeri?
Yeah, I
Yes,
can
we
hear
you.
you. I can hear you.
Yeah, I wanted to know, Jeri, I've read the book. Well, I'm actually in the middle of the book, and I'm quite taken with it. And I wanted to, it's hard for me to comment because I haven't finished it yet, but I really enjoy reading it. I do know a bit about you and your past, and it's great to see your life come alive in fiction and see all the characters and get to know more about you in a different manner. And I'm really looking forward to finishing it and to seeing it maybe on the screen or in dramatic form. So I did want to ask you,
go ahead.
Do you find that, actually, never mind. I can't really formulate my question right now. Sorry, I'm in the middle of rehearsals myself.
Sure?
So we just stop. Yeah.
Well, if Maureen, why don't you tell them a few of the movies you've been in? I adore Maureen. She's a fantastic actress. And
we got another caller.
Why don't you just... Oh, we got another caller. Well, you have to call back.
That's okay. I just want to give a shout-out to Jeri and the book and all her listeners out there. Pick it up, read it. It's awesome.
Thank you, Maureen. And thank you for calling. Okay, I love you.
Hi, Jeri.
Thank you.
Okay. Next caller?
Let me see here.
Oh, we lost. No, okay. Here we go. Caller number 2.
Now,
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Am I the caller?
Yes, you are.
Am I the caller? Wow,
yes,
I'm the caller. Hi,
yeah.
Thank you for taking my call. My name is Sabrina Weaver. Oh, my name is Sabrina Weaver, and I was actually listening to you, Jeri. I am a Facebook fan or friend or whatever, and I was just listening. I was trying to find a station on the radio. So I was listening to your story and just listening, and now I'm very eager to get the book. It was that reach out that you just gave me, on Facebook. Wow. I didn't know.
Well, I really appreciate that. I really want to thank all my Facebook fans because, I was offered a publishing deal from a very prestigious and honorable and nice lesbian press, who I'll keep anonymous. They were fantastic. They offered me a nice deal. They actually offered me a cash advance. But I refused to take the book deal because I did not want Stilettos and Steel put on a shelf that said lesbian and gay fiction only.
Right.
I found it very offensive because it's a noir action romance thriller. And I thought to myself, well, where do you put your Chinese writers?
Very good point.
And I know we fought hard for our little shelf. But I thought, if I let my book and my little characters go on that shelf, they'll never get out. I lived in a gay ghetto. When I was 16 years of age, if I walked down the wrong street, and if I wasn't wearing 3 articles of female clothing, I would get arrested. My ass would be thrown into a black paddy wagon called the Black Mariah. I would be robbed, beaten, and taken to jail. And I thought to myself, I'm not going to let my little characters be put on a shelf like a ghetto. And thank goodness I didn't. And we put the book out ourselves, and through the grace of life and wonderful readers, it's gone mainstream. Is that amazing or what? I just refuse to be pigeonholed.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, there's just... Go ahead.
We're gonna take a little break just to announce another sponsor, so I'm gonna put you on hold.
Okay, we got another caller. Okay.
Yeah, we do have another caller, but I have to make a quick announcement before we take the next caller. 1 second.
What's going on?
Okay. Well, we want to take a short break to thank our new sponsor, Dr. Barton Madirosian. He's a facial feminization surgeon in Jupiter, Florida, who did a fellowship in facial plastic and reconstructive surgery with one of the fathers of facial feminization surgery.
Also completed an extensive training in FFS for the past 6 years, working in close contact with his mentor, Dr. Mordosian, performed surgeries in his office in a fully licensed operating room or in the local hospital with highly trained and reliable staff.
Please give him a call today at 561-624-0900. That's 561-624-0900. Dr. Mordosian is highly qualified and understanding of our needs.
And now back to our show.
Okay, now back to our show. Go.
I hope I didn't sound like I was giving a lecture. I love my callers, and I love the folks that are so kind as to read my book. I didn't want to be up on a bandwagon giving a pitch about equality, but it's very important we have equality in literature. And I want to thank the lady for now buying my book.
Okay,
that's awesome.
Jessica's got a question for you, and then we're going to go to another caller.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Jeri, what helped you become clean and sober, and what advice do you have for those struggling with addiction?
Okay, what helped me get clean and sober? You know how to cure, you know what cures drinking? Drinking.
What?
That's what cures drinking. I don't believe that we quit, we finish. And for me, if there was one laugh left in a bottle of booze, I would still be drinking. I mean, how terrifying to be 20 years old and say, oh, yay, I think I'll jump up and get sober today. How exciting. I get to go out on a date and have sex. Stone cold sober. Yay. I would have to be facing death and mental insanity before I put that booze and drugs down because I needed it to live. And what happened to me is I got to the point where I could not get drunk and I could not get sober and I could not live in that fantasy. You know, I thought I was hip, slick, and cool. I was a gangster. I was a female pimp, stable of whores. I had a lot of money. I was a big shot in a small world. And when I got to the point that I realized really, you know, how lonely I was and how phony I was, and I couldn't get drunk and I couldn't get sober, that's when I was able to get help.
That's awesome.
Okay, we'll go ahead and take another caller. Caller number 3. Where is your name and where are you calling from? Hello?
Yeah, hello? Yes.
Caller?
Yes, caller, you have a question?
Yep, they're
caller beginning with 909. Oh, nope. Hung up.
We lost them.
We lost them. I
guess I got them scared, and I guess I got them scared, and they had to go get a drink.
I guess so.
They can go. I hope they go have one for me. I still love all my friends who drink. I always tell them, don't forget to have a drink for me.
Well, tell us a little bit more about that program for women battling alcoholism and how they were accepting to the lesbian community.
Yeah, okay. I was the first public relations person for the Alcoholism Center for Women in the 60s, late 1960s and early 70s. They did not have treatment centers or beds available for lesbian alcoholics. In fact, sadly, many traditional recovery houses, which were very few recovery houses for women, would kick a woman out if they realized that she was a lesbian. So Brenda Weathers got federal funding, and they were radical lesbian feminists. And the only reason they hired me was that they called me and told me, and this is a true story, so no one better get offended. They said that they were so ugly in traditional standards of a typical woman because they were radical feminists. They had long hair down to their knees, and they didn't shave, and they wore battered T-shirts and Birkenstock shoes, and they would go to a fancy radio station and try to get a TV show and get kicked out of the lobby. So they got a meeting together, and they turned around and said, we got to call that Jeri Estes because she's a middle-class, good-looking girl, and they'll never know she's a dyke. She'll get us in. So they hired me for PR. This is a true story. I ended up doing 60 radio shows, televisions, lecturing throughout the United States, and got a big volunteer group going. And that center is still there today through all the good work of the women that were involved. And the mayor gave me a beautiful certificate just 2 years ago at one of their anniversaries. And I think that's pretty funny that I got a certificate from the mayor of Los Angeles for the work I've done with women, considering that when I was 19 years old, the city of Los Angeles officially kicked me out of L.A.
Wow, that's crazy.
No, that's a true story. I was actually kicked out. Part of my court case with my attorney, my lawyer was negotiating for me. The LADA said, we'll fight this case under the condition that she lives in San Francisco and flies back and forth to court. I was literally asked out of the city of LA when I was 19 years of age. Yeah, when I drank, the police overreacted.
Yeah, I can imagine. So let me ask you, you have several novels you have created. Take us into this world of yours, and what can our listeners expect from your work?
Okay, what I'd like to tell my listeners is I really want them to read this book. And the reason I want them to read this book is there is a tribe of women that have never been discussed, that they're a shadow on our history. Like when I saw the wonderful movie Milk, I thought to myself, it may as well have been filmed in Iraq. There weren't any women. Where are the women? And I thought, where are the films and the documentaries about the everyday lesbian woman and what she went through? And no one ever talks about what it took to survive the streets. If you wanted to survive as a teenager, you either were pimped or pimped. You either were a whore or a topless dancer. No other way to make a living. And this subculture within our community has never been fully brought to light. The butch pimps, the gorgeous femme call girls, the lesbian gangsters have never been shown in our community. And that breaks my heart because they were on the forefront. They were the defiant ones. They refused to be a weekend queer, and they paid a high price for it. So that's why I wanted their story told. So many of my friends died, They didn't get out alive.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And at least you're telling the story for them. Now, I know that you're working on a screenplay. Can you give us a glimpse, and where can our listeners get a hold of you and your work?
Well, the best way to get a hold of me is to go to my website, which is www.jeri, J-T-E-S, or Stilettos and Steel. All you need to think of is stilettos like a high heel and steel like a knife, okay? I would recommend that you get the book and read it because once you know the characters inside and out, it's going to make the movie a lot more exciting for you. And right now we're submitting the screenplay to some of the biggest A-list producers in Hollywood. And I need your help. I need all of you to help me. I need you to download a copy like ASAP because those producers, when they're reading my script, they're going to be looking at reviews and they're going to be looking at sales. And because, I'm going to want to co-produce. I'm going to want to be an executive producer. So I will need your help. So, just look me up on Google and join me on Facebook, and let's see if we get this movie made. Does that make sense?
That's very good. And you also have a page on our website where people can click directly to your website, and that way, if they forget what you just said, they could just go visit our website, and you have a page there with all the information. So
yeah, you can. Yeah, I like people to go to bookstores, and my book is at the Castro Bookstore, autographed copies in San Francisco. But if you go to Amazon and just look up Stilettos and Steel, of course you can get it there, And you just can Google me. I'm all over the place and you can find what you need.
Was there
anything else?
No, that's exactly what I was going to ask you. Anything else you wanted to add? Haven't gotten any more callers? We scared that last one away.
Yeah, you haven't. I scared the last caller away. I just said, poor thing. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was laughing.
It's so funny. When I went to see a big agent here in Hollywood, they wanted to talk to me about my story. And I said, why are you even talking to me? Because if you're over 25, they're not going to talk to you about a screenplay. And he said, Jeri, everybody that lived through the 60s is dead. Or they have so much brain damage they can't remember anything. So we can't get an original voice. This is a true story. That's what he told me. And he wanted to hear about the love story. See, I forgot to tell my readers that the book, Stilettos and Steel, has a very passionate, deep love story that's weaved throughout. It's just not a romance action thriller with, a noir beat, but it's a very deep love story. You can find that in a novel that has street characters. Normally those type of characters are marginalized. They're like little cookie cutter, pimps or hookers or, dealers. I mean, they're not even human beings. They're pieces of furniture on a play, on a set, or in a book. And in Stilettos and Steel, I go into the humanity of each character. And I think that's very important, and that's what we're trying to capture in the screenplay as well.
Excellent. Well, look forward to seeing it when it becomes a movie as well.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck in all your future endeavors. We want to thank the chatters and the callers, and we're looking forward to checking out the film.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jeri.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on your show. It's been an honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good night. And now for In the Trans News. We have some news regarding a transgender teen who's tried to defend herself. And because she tried to defend herself, this is what happened. This is exactly how the article reads. My sister, Jules Gutierrez, is a 16-year-old teenager who identifies as a transgender female. Her gender identity has caused her to be a victim of taunting, harassment, bullying by her peers. On November 13, 2013, Jules defended herself against 3 girls who were tormenting and then physically attacked her.
This is captured on video, and you can see Jules trying to run away. The students involved were suspended, but to our disbelief, District Attorney Daniel Cabral didn't file charges against Jules for battery. She's the only one charged. Jules should not be charged criminally.
Rather, this altercation should be the responsibility of the school district. We should take proper action and implement the necessary resources to prevent incidents like this from ever happening again. One of the girls attacked Jules, had repeatedly bullied her, even spitting gum in her face. Jules sought out from the assistant principal in fear of her physical safety, but the issue was not properly addressed. No necessary actions were taken by the administration. The bullying continued.
Jules attends Hercules High School in Hercules, California, part of the Contra Costa Unified School District. Say that 3 times fast. Even the school district president disagrees with the charges being brought against Jules. This is just a young child who is 16 years old, already going through a lot of stress, he says. This is a remedy. Is this the way we want to deal with children? Violence towards transgender and queer youth is a serious problem. Recently in Oakland, California, a transgender teen was lit on fire.
That's crazy and terrible. What message is the district attorney office sending when they prosecute the transgender teen whose school official labeled as a victim in this incident? And that also happened with Cece, who's in jail now because she was defending herself. So this is something we need to speak against, and it's not right. Guys, I'm going to end the live version now, so it's 23 seconds before it shuts off to recording.
We want to thank our guests, Jeri, for being on the show, all the callers and chatters.
Yeah.
We also want to thank our sponsors again, the Breadfruit Store, and
Dr.
Margosi.
Margosi.
Jupiter, Florida, basic feminization service.
Yes. So thank you, guys. We love you.
But remember
to always love yourselves,
too. Good night.